actually just talked to police, and they say they are now in the preliminary parts of a homicide investigation. You step inside with me, you see that's definitely not the case after fire breaks out twice in this family's home last night. Everybody getting excited. He's being stopped a couple of times. I'm getting very excited. Here he comes, guys. Here he comes. Here you go. Oklahoma has the highest divorce rate in the nation. In fact, 1 out of every 3 married people that you see has been divorced at one time or another. It doesn't mean there wouldn't be a place for hog hunters like Bobby Dale. It just means that there would be another way to help fix the problem. They say you have to be 21 to buy alcohol, 18 to buy a pack of cigarettes, and 17 to get into an R-rated movie. Many dog foods contain meat byproducts, so that means there's a good chance horse meat is in them. So even though we aren't doing it here in Oklahoma, horses are being slaughtered overseas. The tornado swept through town 9 days ago, but as you can see from the mess behind me here, the cleanup is far from over. I'm standing in what used to be an 85-house trailer park. There's hardly anything salvageable left, so now everyone is just focusing on picking up the pieces. Crushed cars, people living in campsites next to their demolished homes, and household appliances jutting from piles of endless debris. It's hard to see, a sight truly heartbreaking.
I see it on TV. I watched the movie Twister, but I didn't know this was real. I've never seen anything like this.
Cornelius Morning is a sophomore at Cameron. After hearing of last week's tornado, she says she couldn't find a way to help fast enough.
I would want somebody to help me in a situation like this. So, of course, I'm going to do it for the next guy.
When she heard of the group coming to Shawnee, she signed up immediately. Leslie Cothran, the student activity specialist at Cameron, says she wanted her students to get plugged in there for a specific reason.
It seemed to be one of the more forgotten areas. Everyone's going to more, so we decided Shawnee was a good place to go.
And when the group arrived, they saw that need for immediate help.
You know, it's terrible that people's houses got destroyed and people lost everything they had.
This is a lot more than I was expecting. But it's going to take a lot of cleanup.
That cleanup started as soon as they got to their destination. Their job to sort through debris, putting leaves and garbage in one pile and keepsakes in another, all while being surrounded by the former homeowners, some now living in tents.
It's rough, you know, you don't think of that part. You think of after you think that they're going to be in a hotel, but this is their home. This is their family property or their land or where they grew up, so it's hard to just leave it and go somewhere else when all your stuff is here, even if it's not the way that you knew it.
But there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and today it came in the form of a tiny but meaningful keepsake that somehow weathered the storm.
I found a Christmas ornament. It was wrapped up in a little piece of paper. It was still so perfect. It was brand new.
Our Cameron students did just what they needed to today, reminding the people of Shawnee they are anything but forgotten, and that in the wake of disaster, there is always hope. Reporting in Shawnee, I'm Sarah Whaley for 7 News.
Sarah, what did they tell you about him?
Destructive, depressed, lonely, angry, all words used to describe Michael Ray. Ray never talked much about his past, but he led others to believe through his actions that it was a troubling one.
Oh, good.
In the 7 years she's known him, 15-year-old Natasha Brown says Michael Ray would often intentionally hurt himself.
He showed me some cuts on his arms, and he would talk about how it just makes the pain go away.
And he was obsessive about his girlfriends, especially 14-year-old Alyssa Wiles.
He said he would end up killing his girlfriend if she ever broke up with him.
Something Brown wishes she had taken to heart, especially with Ray's past. I confirmed today that Ray was expelled from Bray Doyle schools back in 2010 for bringing a loaded gun on property. Matthew Womack remembers that day.
He told his friends, he's like, yeah, just check it out, and look what I have in his bag that had ammo in it.
Womack not only went to school with Ray, but lives just a few doors down. Says Ray had some odd habits. Ray used to walk up and down the street from his house and sometimes on even into the town of Marlow, nearly 5 miles away. Now it's also the street, Abney Road, where he was arrested. An arrest Brown was surprised by, even though she knew her friend was a troublemaker and involved in the wrong things. She still loves her friend, but if he's convicted, she knows he needs to be punished.
He had no reason to do what he did to such a sweet, innocent, beautiful, smart young lady, and I do feel like he should be locked up for the rest of his life.
Now, Ray was charged with first-degree murder and is being tried as an adult. Bond has been denied, so he will stay in the Stevens County Jail.
Sarah, what was their biggest complaint?
Terry, limited power means no air conditioning, and here in the Oklahoma heat, that's a huge problem, especially for the elderly. Susan McLemore's brother, a Navy veteran, has lived happily at the Veterans Center for 4 years, but she says recent events have been unacceptable.
These people served us so that we could live in this free country, and there's no excuse for this.
Susan and other concerned viewers contacted us this morning saying there's no air conditioner in the center and that the building's getting really hot, so we decided to check it out for ourselves. Building Administrator Terry Wilkerson met us immediately.
But it is a situation that we are having to deal with.
It was the perfect storm of events. Power went out during Sunday's storm, kicking this generator on. It supplies full power to the building. Later, when PSO tried restoring regular power, a switch failed. So they continued on the generator until early yesterday morning. Then it failed, putting the building on an emergency generator system.
Unfortunately for us, it doesn't power everything in the facility.
McLemore's brother Michael has a history of strokes. She was so worried the rising temperatures would cause another, she got him out of there, something he appreciated.
It was terrible. It was real hot trying to sleep in the evening.
When I was there, it was about 80 degrees inside.
We are currently at the present time buying more fans to make sure that there's a fan in every room for all the veterans.
200 fans in all, delivered while we were there. PSO also showed up. Both things McLemore says started when she'd had enough. So you really think it's because we're out here?
I know it's because you're out here.
Now, PSO bypassed the switch today until a new one comes in. Center officials couldn't tell me why it took so long for PSO to get here, but they did assure me they're investigating the situation so one like it doesn't happen again. Live at the Veterans Center, I'm Sara Whaley for 7 News.